All right, Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. This was a log from my son's house. Cut that tree down. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, just 5. These are 1.5 inches thick I cut. And they are approximately 8 wide. So that'll be some nice decking for the trail armoring project. And now we have, this is the base of the tree. I don't know if we call it the butt, not the stump. Maybe it's the butt, I don't know. But I think I tried to cut this for at least 5 feet so I could use it. What do we got? Yeah, it's a little bit short of 5 foot. Well, let's see how diameter wise. I'm thinking it's probably 20 inches, and it's not exactly straight, so it'll be close because that's a 23-inch width on there. So we'll see how it all fits. Let's just have a measure. All right. So when I load it with this, I leave that up so it doesn't roll off that end when I'm loading it from this end. And that gives us something around 17. I get rid of that. And with this in here, I'm at 25. All right. So I think she's gonna fit. Let's give it a try. So one of the projects we're working on, I drilled and tapped those holes. We're gonna put another plate like that over there. They welded up, but then I want to put my winch on a post so that I can loop the cable over and use the winch to pull it up. But as you can see from this angle, if I'm winching from that corner, that's gonna be one-sided unless I kind of like cross it over, something like that. Or I'm just gonna have to use the PV and roll it up by hand. Right, here is that fixture. And I bought the nuts, stainless steel nuts and washers, and I brought my dad's Craftsman socket and the ratchet. So let's see if we can put these on, and then we'll put this on and try. Courtesy, well, not courtesy of, I purchased these at Hector's Hardware because they have a low volume of a high range, high quantity of hardware. So, they only have 10 of these stainless steel 1-inch 38 3/8 16s, but they have a whole bunch of different sizes and types, whereas Home Depot does not have all the in-between sizes, but they have a shitload of the stuff they do have, which you need a shitload of standard products. That's a good place, but I usually need the unique custom piece of hardware. So instead of wasting my time and being frustrated at Lowe's or Home Depot, we go to Hector's Hardware. So we'll see if I have enough tap threads in there to hold these in there. I won't overstress them, but we'll put them in enough to keep them tight. Alright, that's snug. 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 Alright. Let's have a look and see. So you can see what I was dealing with here is that this cable is at a bad angle, so it's binding here. So I had to pull it this way. Now it's cranking it, and that's only because I connected it there because I figured I really need the winch to be in the middle of these two. And that's what I was thinking, is I have to make a movable piece for this to go in so I can move it to the middle of wherever the log is going to be, so I don't have this. I think if I just went straight that it might have, and I think it would have skidded. Anyways, but I gotta kick this thing that way, and you can see, you know, with smaller logs not a problem. With big log, that's on the inside, and I got, you know, I don't have enough room, like it's way underneath there, so I really have to take this off so I can slide the log the full width that it has. So I think this upright needs to be on the outside, not on the inside, but it held up so far. All right, we got this kind of rolled to where it wants to be. Thankfully it's kind of straight, but it's got a little bit of a bow, and so what we wound up with, that's as high as my saw blade will go. So we're doing a clearance run, but I think what you're going to see is right here, when I drop this down to make a cut, it's going to hit. So I think we got a chainsaw, and there isn't much, just that little piece there to get a top cut in. Instead of trying to reposition this, I think we're just going to cut that little piece off. All right, used my Echo chainsaw, brand new, and now I'm pretty sure that that is going to at least get me a couple of cuts. Yeah, you know, actually it might hit here. I might have to notch this just a little bit, and then we're going to make at least a couple cuts off the top, and then it's probably gonna be dinner time, and when it gets dark, it's a pretty good sized log. That's as high as my saw blade goes up. go. I got 2 cuts. That was kind of fun. These are the 2 cuts I took off, 1.5 inches each. Be a good decking for the armoring. Yeah. I'm leaving this one in just so the lug doesn't roll back when I take that one off to reposition it.